Hey, I'm going to show you in this video how to tune an electric or acoustic guitar. I'm going to show you a couple of methods. The first one will be using one of these things, a clip-on tuner, and the second way will be how we can tune relatively if we've got one of our notes in tune. There's also a section of video where my strings are in tune and I pluck each string a few times so you can match yours up to that if you prefer that method. All of the kind of timings of the video are going to be in the show more section, the comments of this YouTube video, so if there's a specific bit you want, you can check that out there. Okay, first thing we need to know is the names of the notes of the strings that we're aiming for. There's a few little sayings or expressions we can use to remember the names of the strings, and the one I'm going to use in this video is elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears is 6 words and we've got 6 strings. If we take the first letter of each word, we get the corresponding note for each string. So let's take elephants, and that word is for our string that is closest to our head, the lowest string on the guitar, the low E string. Now elephant starts with an E, and that tells us that that is the low E string. And starts with an A, and that's our A string. Donkey starts with a D, that's our D string. The next one is grow, so that's the G string, and the next word was big, that's the big string, and the last one closest to our feet is ears, or E for the high E string. So we get elephants, E, and A, donkeys, D, grow, G, big, B, ears, E. That's the notes of our strings. So whether we're using a clip-on tuner and plucking the strings and checking the reading on there, or using relative tuning, we're aiming to tune those strings up to E, A, D, G, B, E. The lowest string, the low E, should always be closest to our heads or the ceiling, and the high E should be closest to the floor or our feet. Alright. Let's jump in with a clip-on tuner first. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use a clip-on tuner. This is a clip-on tuner and it clips onto the head of the guitar. Okay, I'll show you to that in a bit more detail in a moment. First of all, a little bit of information about these. They work using vibrations, so when you pluck an individual string, it senses whether it's vibrating at the correct frequency to determine whether that string is in the tuning required. So that, for example, if I pluck the low E string, it knows at what frequency the woods and the body and the neck of the guitar and the headstock in particular should be vibrating for that to be an E. Okay, now this is a polytune clip-on tuner. There's loads of brands. Snark's a great one, Diodario make a good one, Korg make a really good one. The cheaper ones on Amazon and other online shops are absolutely great too. So like most things, you get what you pay for. This was about £30 and I had it for 2 years. It hasn't let me down. I've had the Snark ones, which are about £12 to £15 in the UK. They've not lasted quite as long as these, but they still work absolutely brilliantly. If you just let's clip it on. So the mechanism, the actual tuner part is the white plastic bit on mine, and this is the clip-on part. Okay. Now, it's a bit like a clothes peg. It's got a spring in there, squeeze it, it opens, and it will attach to the head of the guitar. If my finger's the head of the guitar, like that. So, super easy. Let's clip it onto my guitar. Coming up to the head, opening it up, going around the head, and squeezing it on. So the rubber pads are touching either side of the wood. Okay, my on switch is here, and we light up. All right. Let's tune the low E string. So that elephant string closest to my head. I've deliberately made it a little bit low. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a line dancing around it. It recognises that that is an E, but I'm aiming to get this line or needle in the middle under this green dot. I'll tune it up really quickly and show you what it would look like if it was in tune. There we go, it's gone green. It's under that needle in the middle and I'm getting dots either side. It's kind of celebrating the fact it's in tune. So we can continue that process through the 6 strings. Remembering the first letter of each of our words, elephants, E, and A, donkeys, D, grow, G, big, B, ears, E. Now I'm going to deliberately detune the strings a little bit. So I'm going to play a chord I know really well, an A major. It sounds awful because it's out of tune. Let's go one string at a time. Top tip, pluck the string once and let it sustain, let it ring out. Don't keep plucking it and twisting the tuner, yeah? Just give it one pluck and let it sustain as long as it can. That way your ears can detect if the pitch is changing the right way. I can hear that that note is getting higher as I twist the tuner this way. I've checked that I'm turning the right tuner for each string, so I'm on the elephant string. If you need to, you can follow that elephant string up and kind of clock in and check which machine head or tuner it connects to. So the low E string on an acoustic guitar, or like a Les Paul style electric where you've got 3 tuners on each side, the low E string is this one here. Let's get that one in tune. So it's saying E, but it's just to the left of the dot, so it's a tiny bit too low because the left side is low. So I turn it a little bit until it's right in the middle like that. Okay, we've done the elephant or the low E. Let's do the A. Ah, that one's in tune. Let's deliberately make it a bit low. Also, it's saying G, and that dot means sharp and accidental. G sharp is the note in the musical alphabet before A, so that's too low. So the next letter in the musical alphabet above that is A, that's what we're after. I'm turning it, I can hear the note changing, and I'm coming to that note from underneath. It's better to tune up to pitch than come down to pitch. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm too high at the moment, I've got A, and that dot tells me it's A sharp. That's a step above A. I'm going to drop down to A. So I'm dropping into pitch. Now that way is effective enough to get into tune, but I would always recommend tuning from underneath the note. There we go. So we've got E and A. And now let's try the D string. Oh, it's too low because in the musical alphabet A, B, C, D. It's telling me C. It's actually saying C sharp and we want D. That's above there. Now, I'm left this side of the dot in the middle, so I need to make it tighter. There we go. Let's go back and check E, still in tune. A, still in tune. D, still in tune. Sometimes E might be in tune, and when you tune up A and D, E will ever so slightly fluctuate, so it's always worth just checking them again quickly. There we go, E, A, D. Now G, again, is it this one, or this one in terms of the tuners? Let's go all the way up the string, and it attaches to this tuner here. Let's try G. Oh, my tuner's switched off because I didn't use it for a bit there, so I'll flick it back on. And G. Too low because it's on the left, so I'm going to turn it till it gets higher. There we go, G. Simple as that. And B, that's going to be the middle one, isn't it? Because this is G, B, E. Now B is showing a C, the B string, so that should be elephants and donkeys grow big, but it's saying C. So C is above B in the musical alphabet, so I need to make this string lower, and I turn its tuner that way. I'm dropping down to it. Now I said a minute ago I should always tune up to pitch, so I drop under it, and then I go back up to pitch. There we go, B. Just the green dots. And finally, the high E string, showing D sharp. D comes before E in the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, so we need to go up in pitch. So I twist this tuner this way. And here comes E, and let's get it in the middle. All right. And my guitar's in tune. Top tip, once you're confident it's in tune, turn it off. Loads of people keep it on, keep playing, and they're just wasting the battery. We'll just check once more. E. It's in tune. A is in tune. D is in tune. G is in tune. B is in tune. And E is in tune. Now, one thing you might encounter if you've got a brand new guitar with new strings, or you've just restrung an old trusty guitar, is you might have to stretch the strings in a bit. I might tune up to E, and it might be beautifully in tune, and then I do a bit of playing, and it might end up being a little bit lower because the string needs to be stretched in. Now, let me show you how you would do that. You would take your thumb, you'd put it under the string and gently tug the string up towards the ceiling. We're not moving much, just kind of half an inchish, maybe a centimetre. We're not yanking it up, just gently, and that may make your string need retuning. In my instance, I'm going to tune back up to pitch. So stretching them in is just the process of physically stretching the strings into tune. All right. There we go, E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, I'm going to keep my low E string in tune, and I'm going to show you how to tune the strings if you didn't have a clip-on tuner, because I know the notes that I need the rest of these to be. Let's say you find a reference or a way you can tune to E, such as me playing E now. You could twist your tuner for your low E string until it matches that note. Okay, now we know that the next string needs to be A, and I know that that note A exists at the 5th fret of the low E string. So if I play the 5th fret of the low E, that should sound the same as the open A, because we get an E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. The notes are changing as I move up. This is A. So if I play the 5th fret of the E, which I know is in tune, it gives me the note that I want to hear on that string. And I twist the tuner until I get the same note. Now just to show you, I've used my ears there to detect the same note. Let me show you that I've got that A in tune. There we go, I was a tiny bit out. Some people's ears are better than others. Now, we went 5th fret E to play the same as the open A. Now we've got the A string in tune. Now the D string is a little bit out of tune, because again, I can play the 5th fret of the A string, and the D string should sound the same as that 5th fret. Now, I'm playing the 5th fret of the E, 5th fret of the A, and plucking the open D, and they should match, and they do. You can hear if I make it looser, that's not quite the same notes. It's lower, so I twist it till it's the same. And I'll check it with my tuner. Now back in the day, when I was young, clip-on tuners were about £25, I seem to remember, from places like Tandy in the UK and Argos, probably, I don't know, Walmart or your local guitar store in other countries around the world. Now, remember this 5th fret rule. This 5th fret of the E is an A, 5th fret of the A is a D, and the 5th fret of the D is a G. So we can use that note. And we're looking for the same note on both strings. Let me just show you that's the same. There's our G, and a G on the G string. A tiny bit flat there, my ears. Okay, now we've gone 5, 5, 5 to get the B note from the G string. So in relative terms, where can we play the desired note on this B string? It's the 4th fret of the G. Now it's too low, so I make it higher, twisting that tuner. Now that B, it's now the same note. The 4th fret of the fretted note on the G and the open B are the same note. I can hear that they're matching, they're colliding the same frequencies in the air. So 5th fret on the E for the A, 5th fret on the A for the D, 5th fret on the D for the G, that G's gone a bit flat, 4th fret on the G for the B, and we go back to 5 to get this E string. So that's the note I'm aiming for, the 5th fret of the B. The E's a bit low, so I'm going to make it higher to match. It's just about right there. There we go. So that was tuning relatively. I just used the tuner as a visual guide so you could see they were matching. But if I play the 5th fret of the E, that gives me the note I need the A string to be the same as. Same at the 5th fret of the A, gives me my D string note. The 5th fret of the D gives me a G, so I can use that to tune my G string. The 4th fret of the G gives me a B, and the 5th fret of the B gives me the E. There we go. We're in tune. I would use these next few notes I'm going to play to match up the strings to. So E is, so you would turn your E until it matches that. And A is, D is. And now a G. And now a B. And finally our high E. So if you don't feel confident using the fret system of 5, 5, 5, 4, 5 to tune relatively, you can just tune up to each of those strings I've just... Fantastic stuff. There's a couple of ways there you can use to tune up your electric or acoustic guitar. I think the easiest one is using the clip-on tuner, if you can get one of them. If you can't get your hands on one of them, but you do want to use kind of modern technology, you can get apps for phones and devices. Fender have a good one available in the Play or App Store that's free of charge. It's not quite as accurate as using a clip-on tuner though. Using that relative method is really good ear training to detect whether a string needs to go higher or lower in pitch too. Love this stuff. Please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. Mention this video to your friends or family if they've just started playing guitar. Check out the other videos on our channel and we'll see you soon. Bye.